Shout out to our sponsor, Leaping Tiger.
Leaping Tiger is a social app to find other gamers in your area.
Get it for iOS or Android or on the web at leaping-tiger.com. Welcome to The Know, I'm John Reisinger.
And I am not.
If there's anything the internet's taught us, it's that life's unfair and people are dishonest. Wow, this is a good start to the read. Thanks, fuckers.
So that lesson was learned double hard. Double hard? Really? That lesson was learned double hard recently by one indie game developer who found itself on the raw end of a Steam key scam which nearly cost them thousands of dollars.
Double hard on the raw end. And this is why we can't have nice things, everybody!
Woohoo! The indie game in question was RimWorld.
Jesus!
I heard the jobs there are really sloppy. A hit new early access title that people have been incredibly enthusiastic about lately.
Imagine the procedural randomness of a game like Dwarf Fortress mixed with the touch of base and resource management and even a couple of dashes of Firefly.
Because it is all about that base. The actual description for RimWorld calls it a sci-fi colony sim that, quote, generates stories by simulating psychology, ecology, gunplay, other ologies, melee combat, climate, biomes, diplomacy, interpersonality, relationships, lots of other multisyllabic words, art, medicine, trade, and more.
You did so good. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you. The response has already been overwhelmingly positive with over 1,700 good reviews on its product page after just launching a few days ago.
Since the game's already a seeming hit, the game's developer, Tynan Sylvester, decided to give fans a way to support him in the studio directly. Since every purchase on Steam involves Valve getting a 30% cut off the top, Sylvester wanted to offer the game on Ludion Studios' site instead.
Tynan Sylvester sounds like a Game of Thrones character. Direct purchases would cut out Valve's percentage and put all the money right in Ludion's pockets. Anyone who bought the game would still be given a Steam key so they could add it to Steam and still include it in their library.
No extra cost or hassle for the player, more money back to the people who poured the blood, sweat, and tears into the game. Sounds like a win for everybody involved.
I don't like blood, sweat, and tears in my games. Until the internet came along and fucked everything up. Or more specifically, the scammy part of the internet that likes to take advantage of people with pure intentions.
You bastards! In a new post published on the official RimWorld site.
That's a very timely reference. That's a very timely reference.
Yeah, well, they got a new game out. In a new post published on the official RimWorld site, Sylvester said that he's now had to discontinue all Steam key purchases thanks to the scammers.
Sylvester wrote about the scammers. We've been getting hammered by fraudsters who are obviously more experienced at this than I. Shutting it down for now is the only way to avoid thousands of dollars in chargeback fees and lost sales.
Those hammering scammers. According to the post, any Steam key bought after July 17th will have to be deactivated because of suspected fraudulent activity. Fortunately for anybody who bought it legit, or not, before that, you'll still get to play RimWorld to your heart's content.
After the post went live, there was a lot of confusion from players about whose key would and wouldn't be canceled. Sylvester has since updated, saying that he only canceled about 85 in total, which still amounts to over $2,500 in purchases. But there's no telling how many scammers slipped through the fences before Ludion had to actually stop selling the keys.
Fortunately for Ludion, it sounds like they stopped the scam before it got too heated, but it's a shame that developers have to worry about this at all. And in part, it's because of the economy that's developed around the reselling of Steam's keys through various sites.
Ironically enough, Sylvester warned people against buying Steam keys from third-party resellers when the game went live on early access, writing, "Please don't buy Steam keys from third-party sellers. The only ways RimWorld has ever been sold are on our website or on Steam itself, which means that any key being resold is stolen or improperly sold one."
For those of you unaware of how these types of scams work with Steam key resellers, they typically go down like this. Someone makes use of a stolen credit card number or numbers to buy a whole stack of Steam keys all at once. As people start to issue chargebacks for those erroneous purchases in bulk, then it becomes much harder to sift through which Steam keys are legit and which aren't.
And then what happens is the enterprising or scummy individual then goes on to sell those Steam keys to the highest bidder, who then goes on to sell them at a discount to gamers who want to save money on new games.
And this type of occurrence has become all too common lately, especially with the rise of third-party resellers like G2A, who's recently come under fire for creating an environment where these tactics thrive.
Last month, indie developer Tiny Build accused G2A of selling more than $450,000 worth of Steam keys without a single bit of profit coming back to the developer for their trouble.
So in the post, the CEO of Tiny Build wrote, "Websites like G2A are facilitating a fraud-fueled economy where key resellers are being hit with tons of stolen credit card transactions, and these websites are now growing rapidly due to the low pricing of game keys."
Tiny Build even argued that a variety of these Steam keys came through ill-gotten means, and they're not the only ones who have had things to say about G2A and its business practices recently. Devolver Digital lodged a similar complaint about them back in 2014, and a number of other developers have banned them altogether.
That's not to say that all resellers or all of G2A's keys are stolen, it's just noting how this has become a problem that seems to be affecting developers everywhere. We're also not saying that G2A is behind this particular scam, we're just noting that many attribute the rise in Steam key scamming to sites like G2A, who happens to have the biggest profile.
We're getting to the point where it's become impossible to offer customer keys directly, which is not great for gamers or developers. As consumers, it benefits us to be able to buy things directly from the developer who makes them.
And that benefits them too, because they don't have to deal with a platform taking a cut off the top, meaning they can go on to make more games that we love. But if people keep reselling the keys and scamming them out of money, it forces them to go to another platform to take care of that stuff for them.
Which means someone is taking money from them and we're not getting it as cheap as we possibly could.
However, it should be noted that Ludion Studios have already moved more than 60,000 copies of RimWorld so far. So they're not exactly going to be devastated by this. Still, it sucks that they had to cut off direct access to the customers.
Until something major happens, like somebody decides to hit one of these resellers with a substantial lawsuit, we probably won't see that change anytime soon.
So, what do you guys think of Ludion having to stop its own Steam Keys sales because of scammers? Let us know in the comments.
For future updates on indie devs and Steam Key scams, like this video and subscribe to The Know.
Thanks to Leaping Tiger for sponsoring this update.
Leaping Tiger is a social app that helps players find friends in their local area.
For example, we've been talking about Pokemon Go a lot lately, so if you want to find trainers to go hunting with, you can use Leaping Tiger.
Just think the entire city could be yours to control.
Yours! Leaping Tiger's available for iOS and Android, or access it from the web at leaping-tiger.com.